When you picture Italy, what pops into your head? Seriously, take a second. What do you see? I'm gonna bet it's something beautiful, something timeless, something from the past. Well, today we're gonna flip that picture completely on its head. Yeah, you're probably thinking of the Colosseum, right? Or Michelangelo's David, maybe sipping an espresso in a piazza that looks like it's straight out of a movie. I mean, Italy's history is so epic, so iconic, it can easily overshadow what's happening right now. And we all know and love that version of Italy. But what if I told you there's a different story unfolding? A story of a quiet but really profound transformation. A story that's not about ancient ruins, but about modern resilience. Not about Renaissance art, but about artificial intelligence. To really get this new Italy, we have to start at the bottom, with the foundation. For years, you heard this narrative about economic weakness, right? But the data today, well, it tells a very different story. And it starts with the bedrock of any modern economy. It's banks. Take a look at this number, 10 billion euros. That's the ballpark annual profit for just one of Italy's biggest banks, UniCredit. This isn't a sign of some fragile system. This is a sign of a sector that's had a massive, massive turnaround. And believe me, this isn't some outlier. It's happening across the board. After years of serious restructuring, Italian banks are now some of the most stable and profitable in all of Europe. They're acing stress tests, which basically means they're not just safe, they're strong enough to really fuel the economy. Now, this newfound strength isn't just about money, it's about how things get done. For decades, Italy was kind of famous for these huge, unfinished public works projects. But look at this timeline. This wasn't an overnight fix. It was a slow, steady, decade-long push for reform and transparency that has totally changed the game. And the result? The number of these stalled projects has absolutely plummeted to an all-time low of 246. We're talking a drop of more than 50%. This points to a whole new culture of efficiency, and it's building the solid ground for everything that comes next. So, with that stable foundation locked in, we can move on to the really exciting part, Italy's modern innovation engine. We're going to see how the country is quietly becoming a leader in some of the most cutting-edge fields you can imagine. Let's start with a medical breakthrough that has huge global implications. Researchers in Turin, working hand-in-hand with the U.S. National Institutes of Health, have figured out a revolutionary new way to detect ALS, that devastating neurodegenerative disease, years before any symptoms show up. So how did they pull this off? It's this incredible blend of high-tech and human smarts. They use something called proteomics to analyze thousands of proteins in blood samples. Then they trained an AI model to spot the unique signature of ALS. And the results? An absolutely staggering 98% accuracy in detecting it before symptoms even start. This is literally the future of medicine, and it's happening in Italy right now. And this embrace of AI goes way beyond the research lab. This number is just wild. 64% of Italian professionals are actively investing their own time and money in learning AI skills. That puts Italy at #1 in Europe for corporate AI training. The workforce isn't just keeping up, they're leading the pack. And what's cool is where this push is coming from. It's coming from everywhere. It's almost an even split between people taking the initiative themselves, that's 26%, and companies providing formal programs. This culture has caused AI use at work to just explode, jumping from 12% to 46% in just 1 year. But moving this fast also uncovers new hurdles. And a big one is this gap in understanding AI ethics. You've got managers who are pretty aware of the ethical side of things, but that awareness hasn't quite filtered down to the entire workforce. Closing that gap is the next big, crucial step. Okay, so Italy's innovation engine isn't all just about AI and biotech. It's also about taking traditional strengths and making them cutting edge. The sports industry is a perfect example. We're talking about a nearly 25 billion euro powerhouse. That's more than 1.3% of the entire country's GDP. And this is where that classic made-in-Italy reputation meets high-performance tech. Italy is the 5th largest exporter of sporting goods on the planet, and it just dominates in these high-value niche markets. I mean, think about it. 3rd in the world for winter sports gear, 2nd for hunting equipment. This is what happens when precision manufacturing and world-class design come together. So, we've seen a resilient economy and a powerful innovation engine. But what does all this mean for daily life? In this last section, we're going to look at how Italian society itself is being reshaped, creating a whole new modern identity. Even that classic Made in Italy label is changing. A generic tag isn't enough anymore. What people really want is specificity. Look at this. Products with certified regional origins, things that guarantee they come from a specific town and are made a certain way, their sales are soaring by over 12%. People don't just want a slogan, they want a real story, an authentic connection to a place. And this focus on regional identity is actually sparking some really cool social innovation. Take the region of Molise. For years, people have been leaving. So they launched this ambitious plan to turn things around by tapping into one of the biggest trends of our time, remote work. The whole idea is to let people move back to their hometowns without having to give up their careers. And they're not just hoping it happens, they're making it happen with real concrete incentives, tax breaks, help with housing, and, this is key, the modern infrastructure you need to work from anywhere, like high-speed internet and co-working hubs. The campaign's slogan just says it all, doesn't it? Return to your Molise. It's this perfect blend of modern flexibility and that deep personal pull of home. It's a plan to breathe new life into old towns by bringing talented people back. And this new focus on localism and quality of life is even changing something as personal as how Italians go on vacation. You can see a really clear shift here. The classic beach trip, it's still popular, but it's losing a bit of ground to mountain holidays, which are really on the rise. And this is all part of a bigger trend. Almost 70% of Italians are now choosing to vacation right inside their own country, often just driving to a neighboring region. It's a move away from crowded mass tourism and towards more sustainable, local trips that reconnect people with their own country. Okay, so let's put it all together. When you connect these dots, from the rock-solid financial system to the leadership in AI, to the social projects bringing small towns back to life, a really clear picture emerges. A quiet but incredibly powerful transformation is reshaping Italy from the inside out. Which leaves us with one final thought. We started with the Italy of the past, the one we all think we know. But what we've actually seen today is an Italy of the future, a country that isn't throwing away its heritage, but is using it as a launchpad to innovate. So the real question is this: is Italy accidentally creating a new blueprint for the 21st century? A way to blend cutting-edge progress with an unbreakable bond to tradition, and above all, a focus on quality of life.